All right, this is a breakdown of a successful hair loss VSL advertising on Facebook and Instagram from Nordic Biolabs. So it starts with a simple transformation hook. I went from this to a full head of hair, showing the before and after in less than 6 months, giving a time frame, and I didn't get a hair transplant without the common solution. So this can be adapted to I fixed this health problem without surgery, without medication, without expensive treatments. And that's a promise, right? It's an implied promise that you can do it too. Because anything that a first person says when you're calling out your audience and their problem, it's an implied promise. So that's what every transformation before and after is. So he went from losing his hair, being bald, to a full head of hair in less than 6 months and didn't get a hair transplant. So there's curiosity there. How did you do it? Obviously, there's only curiosity from the target market who wants to also do the same thing. Then we handle some objections that he did it naturally, and we promised the dream outcome, showing you how to do it. I did it all naturally, so it handles that main objection right away. Did you use some kind of chemical or pill or formula? And I'm going to show you how to do it from the comfort of your own home. So now we're bought into the promise because it's handled our main objections of this market. Then he establishes his authority status, the spokesperson, and he relates to the viewer's problem. As a hair specialist with 30 years of experience, there's the authority status. You might find it surprising that I too struggled with genetic hair loss. So he relates, he builds rapport by identifying the problem in himself that the viewer is dealing with, and he establishes his authority. Hair loss specialist, 30 years in my profession, and he's recommending solutions to others. So he's a professional, he's doing this for a living. Then we bring in some proof elements. So what have we done? We brought them in with a hook, a promise of a dream outcome. We've handled their main objections. The loop is still open. We haven't said how we did it. Established the authority figure status and relates to the problem. He personally struggled with the problem. Now we bring in proof. So we've done, claims, promise, outcome, authority status. Now we're going to bring in some proof. Decades of searching and researching, over 100 treatments, he came to a realization. So another open loop. And then we have the solution introduced. This is a relatively short VSL. It's about 3 minutes long, but again, highly effective. And let's just focus on the structure here so that you can adapt this to anything else. The solution is now introduced after proof, authority, and promise. So they're bought in, they're interested, they believe to a certain extent because of the authority and the proof. Now we're going to give them the solution, not the product. We're not selling them anything yet. The only truly effective treatment is stem cell therapy. So that's in general, right? You can do the same thing, red light therapy, heat therapy, acupressure. You're not selling a product, you're selling them on the solution, which is a much easier sale to make because it's the sale of an idea, of a belief. And it's the only truly effective treatment. So he narrows everything down to it's the one thing that works. This works on the problem side and the solution side. This one thing is causing your problem, or this one thing is the only solution. Social proof, it's the only solution that's consistently worked for me and for other people. So there's some social proof there because it's worked for his clients as well. And then throughout this whole VSL script, the copy is very concise and it's very effective, especially in the transition sentences. So how does it work to regrow hair? And it's just relaying the subconscious thoughts of the viewer back to them. That's the best transition sentence, and that's the best way to build this slippery slide to get them engaged throughout the entire advertisement. Our hair continuously sheds and regenerates, and now we have the mechanism of interest. So what that means is that this is the mechanism of how the solution and the problem works. In a lot of supplement or some kind of like creams and gels, the problem and solution mechanism usually are two sides of the same coin, meaning if you have too much DHT, you lose your hair. So if you reduce it, you can gain your hair back. If you have too little collagen, your skin starts to die. If you have a lot of collagen, your skin is revived. So it's two sides of the same coin. And this also sets us up for that mechanism. As I said, if the system works, you get the dream outcome. When it doesn't work, you get the big problem. So at the heart of each hair follicle are stem cells work. So it's focusing on the stem cells and how they lead to hair growth or hair loss, depending on if there's too much or too little. In our youth, and this is another way to prove this is how we're proving that this is true, because you can demonstrate it to a person. In our youth, the cells operate perfectly, so you get a ton of hair. As we age, it slows down and you lose your hair. And everyone's experienced having hair in their youth, losing hair when they're older, at least the target market has. And that's how you prove that this mechanism of interest, the stem cells, works, and you prove that it's real, because they can relate their own experience to it. That's very important here. It's simple and it's easily relatable. So here's the problem mechanism. What thing is affecting this mechanism, right? The stem cell mechanism of hair growth that's making it so that we lose our hair and have the big problem? Age. It's really just age. It's very simple. They're not doing a deep dive into the problem mechanism. They're just saying it's age, and it slows down the process. And then it takes a lot longer to create new cells, new hair, and it results in hair that's older, weaker, and more prone to thinning and loss. To combat these effects, stem cells are crucial. So you have to increase the one thing that he mentioned is the only solution, stem cells. If you do that, you fix the problem mechanism, you solve the problem. So here's how the solution works. This is, again, not the product, the solution. Stem cell therapy reactivates and energizes the cell's natural ability. So it enhances the natural process of the body that we mentioned is the one thing upon which all of this hinges, the problem and the solution. And it speeds up the time to produce new hair cells. So it works naturally with the body's abilities. And hair doesn't just stop falling out, it actually regrows. This is the huge promise. So now we've built up the intrigue and the hook. We built up the authority status and the believability through proof. We've got them interested in the solution. They believe, at least to some extent, that the solution is stem cells. We've explained how the mechanism of the body when it comes to hair works. Now we make the promise. Your hair doesn't just stop falling out, it regrows. And it works every time without exception. That's a very bold claim. It's a very big claim. The downside. So this is the downside of the solution, not the product. Remember, the product has not been introduced yet. This is what makes this all so believable, that it's just information. There's no sale on the other end of this, at least not yet. Traditionally, it's very expensive. This is a very powerful and easy to overcome objection that you'll see very often. It's too expensive, or up until now, it's been too expensive. But thanks to modern technology, thanks to new developments, we can get the same power of that solution without the main objection of the cost. So we wanted to make this treatment accessible and affordable. I partnered up with this company to develop a stem cell complete hair cycle solution. And it takes all the belief and the desire for the solution and it attaches it now to the product, because the product is just the delivery mechanism of the solution that they already believe in, because we explained it to them. So it's a simple treatment. It uses powerful stem cells, the same powerful stem cells at elite clinics. So you get the same benefits as the expensive treatments without all the downside. But we're not going to sell it to them or offer it to them yet. We're going to give more proof. So he was patient zero, the spokesperson, the authority figure. He used it. And now we're going to, future pace it. In 2 months, I saw dramatic changes. The hair stopped falling out and new growth was visible. 4 months, the improvements were more pronounced and my bald spots were filling in. 6 months, I regrew a full head of hair. When you future pace, you time space, you build a timeline of the dream outcome, it makes it a lot more believable and acceptable. And you can visualize yourself going through it, which makes it a lot more visceral and real for you. The more real you make it for them, the more likely they are to buy. And by making it real, I mean, can they imagine themselves doing it, using it, and then getting the dream outcome? It's the only product I recommend to my patients. Thousands of them have experienced the same results. So social proof. So remember, first-person testimonial and social proof. I like to combine them both, just as they do here. And then we summarize the dream outcome and the big promise. They put an end to hair loss. They've regrown their hair, and they're seeing thicker and fuller results in only a few months. So there's the whole big promise. And the best part, now that it's proven to work, it's made this breakthrough therapy accessible and affordable. Now we turn it on the viewer. So now it's accessible and affordable, and implied there is to you. Now we have the offer, the price, the guarantee, and the risk reversal. It's less than $100. You can begin your journey today. They have a 120-day money-back guarantee, so your risk is reversed. If you don't regrow your hair, you return it and you get a full refund. No questions asked. So that's the offer right there. So we turn it on them and we immediately make the offer. We don't waste any time. We revisit the problem to bring it top of mind to increase the amount of people that are going to click through and desire the product. The only real risk is regret of missing out on this opportunity. I've seen people struggle with hair loss, wasting time and money on products that don't work. Now we make it real for them. Don't let this be your story. The choice you make today is crucial. So we're taking everything that we've explained and taught, all the information, and we're turning it onto the viewer, making this all real for them. And we do a crossroads close. Will you let this opportunity pass and watch your hair continue to thin day by day, or will you take action now? Those are your two options, at least according to this VSL. It narrows it down to you have two options. The opportunity is going to pass and the problem will persist, or you take action. You can get your complete hair cycle solution, spend the next 120 days on the path to restoring your hair and your confidence. So we give them the two options, and then we nudge them in the direction we want. We really tell them, get it today. And the promise, we summarize again the promise before we call for action to click on the ad. Regrow your hair. It's more accessible than ever, and we have a 50% discount. So we prime them and then click the button below to start your journey. There's the main CTA, the call to action, where that gets them off the ad and onto the landing page where they can buy the product. So this is a very effective, very concise VSL. As I said, it's about 3.5 minutes long. It's a first-person authority figure spokesperson. And The structure is very simple. So just to review one more time, we have the hook, promising a benefit through a before and after, without transplant, it's all natural, and I did it from home. Then we build up the authority status. I have 30 years of experience. I'm a hair specialist. I work with lots of people. More proof elements. I've tested over 100 different treatments. And then we bring in the solution, the answer to all this tension we've built up. What is the solution? Stem cells. It's not enough. You have to keep watching because you're subconsciously wondering, how do I use this solution? Right? Because it's just, stem cells is just a thing. It's an abstraction. It's an idea. Social proof. It's worked for me and others. So how do stem cells regrow hair? Now the explanation of the mechanism, this is how it works. This is how stem cells affect your hair. This is how the solution affects the problem. And then we explain even more in depth to solve the problem mechanism, these effects, meaning the cycle slowing down as you age of hair growth, you have to use stem cells. It's crucial. This is how it works. It reactivates and energizes. It reactivates and energizes the cell's natural abilities, speeding up the time it takes to produce new hair cells. This is how the solution works. Here's the big promise. Your hair doesn't just stop falling out, it regrows. And we're certain, here's the certainty claim, it works every time without exception. The downside, it's too expensive. So now we built up more tension. We gave them the solution, so they're about to, feel that gratification, but it's too expensive. And then we overcame that. We made it accessible to everyone. And then we take all that belief in this power of stem cells, the mechanisms, the social proof, and we focus it on the product. But before we offer it to them, we give them more proof and believability. The first person testimonial, the first person speaker who's already related to the viewer and established his authority status, he uses it, he sees success. Thousands of others experience success. We summarize the dream outcome. And now finally we turn it on the viewer. As you can see, by the scroll bar, we're on the last page of the VSL. You can use it, right? Here's the offer. You can get it for less than $100. There's no risk. You have a guarantee. You can return it if it doesn't work. But there's a real risk if you miss out on this opportunity. You're going to continue to struggle, waste time and money. So we bring the problem top of mind. We make it real for them. Don't let this be your story. You have two options. Continue to watch your hair thin day by day or take action. Summarize the offer. Get it today and get on the path of restoring your hair. And then we summarize the promise. Regrow your hair with this product. It's more accessible than ever. The future of hair care is here. You also get a discount and then CTA. That's the structure. You can use this for pretty much any product, especially health products, especially products that solve a problem. And it's highly effective. All right. I hope you enjoyed this video, this VSL breakdown. I have more on my channel. And I also have a paid community, a private community. The link is in the description where I go a lot more in depth, helping other e-commerce business owners do what I did and what I do, which is use these VSLs to scale their businesses using direct response marketing, VSLs, advertorials, etc. It's all in there, a lot more in depth. Take it easy. Have a great day. Peace out.